January 25th, calling to order the special meeting of Bucyrus City Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Bekever.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Wireball.
Here.
Potter.
Here.
Sherrick. Here. Spiegel.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Granting permission for visitors to speak.
Vicki Dishon, 1108 Hillcrest Drive, Bucyrus. I have a number of questions about 3 of the 4 pieces of legislation that we're presenting tonight, and I thought maybe it would be better if I addressed them before there were any readings done, if that's okay? First off, your ordinance number 02-2023, which establishes the salaries of the mayor, law director, auditor, president of council, and council members, effective January 1, 2024. If you'll note in that ordinance, not only does it make reference to the salaries, but it also sets forth the entitlement of medical and life insurance coverage for the mayor, law director, and auditor, and life insurance coverage for the council president and council members. Now, at the January 19th, 2023 Finance Committee meeting, there was a motion by Spiegel and a second by McKeever to approve the establishing of the salaries only of the elected officials. There was no discussion held on the medical and life insurance coverage. And you want me to just...
Yeah, if you would.
Okay. Second is resolution number 204-2023 that deals with declaring the necessity of an election to provide for an additional 1/4 of 1% income tax for a period of 5 years for the city safety forces. This resolution also contains the proposed ballot language. On January the 5th, 2023, the December 8th, 2022 Finance Committee meeting minutes were approved. The minutes stated that Spiegel secondly requested ballot language for a 0.25% income tax solely for special forces, not safety forces, and then renewable every 5 years as an emergency, and second by Myers. Again, these are important pieces of legislation, and that's, why I think we want to make sure we're, doing them properly. The fact that the minutes were approved and the minutes stated special forces, even though I will point out that in listening to the audio recording, Mr. Spiegel did state safety forces.
So when you requested legislation, he said special, is that what you're saying?
He said safety, which was correct.
So
And
the
really,
minutes
I
were
shouldn't
wrong.
say safety. It was sort of, you were saying, do I understand this is what you want your motion to read? And Terry concurred. And it was stated safety. It's the minutes that state special forces. And when you approve the minutes, the Ohio Supreme Court holds that if anybody comes back to question the minutes or whatever, the only defense that the city can use are their approved minutes. They can't say, oh gosh, if you go back and listen to the audio recording, it says safety. And it does, but
Mr. Myers.
Mr. Gerner, could we not just, since this is a special meeting, I don't believe we can address those minutes, but could we just not annotate those minutes at our next regular meeting to be corrected?
Right, and those minutes incorporate the recording. The Ohio Supreme Court has a case that Ms. Dishon speaks of, but that's not exactly what the holding is. That was the Cardington case, which they indicated that you can't rely on recordings if that wasn't your policy or that wasn't incorporated into your minutes. But yeah, I mean, you can go back and amend those at a future date.
And we'd be
Or you
okay to
could
proceed with
pass
this evening.
everything as council as a whole, suspend the rules and move forward this evening. However you wanted
What's your
to do
recommendation?
it. I would just pass it all, council as a whole. I'll go down to the basement and fix it, and we pass it today without the necessity of coming out of committee.
We can do that even though we're in special meeting?
Yeah, we're here to talk about the income tax, we're here to talk about the library levy, and we're here to talk about the salary. We can do that. We just have to stick to those 3 topics.
Say the minutes again for the date.
It was the December 8th, 2022 Finance Committee meeting minutes.
And that was for the ordinance 323?
204, 2023, the resolution.
Got it. Yeah, that's what we approved. Yeah.
Then for ordinance number 03-2023, which deals with amending section 189.012 of the city's codified ordinances to provide for the additional 5-year levy for the city's safety forces. In my reviewing the committee recordings, I'm hearing no discussion or request for legislation by the Finance Committee for legislation to amend 189.012.
Right, and the way the code reads is you cannot run a tax levy without also running the ordinance that would amend that. And the Secretary of State and the Board of Elections have both indicated that they will not put that on the ballot unless we pass the ordinance, which would be effective upon passage of the May levy.
Madam President.
Yes, sorry.
To your point, Vicki, we had already caught that, and I'd asked him the same question, so we were going to just bring this forth from council as a whole tonight.
Making a request
Yep.
for,
Yeah, because
Okay.
it was exactly what you just said.
okay. So then the next question I have is in reviewing prior levies, legislation, both ordinance and resolution, dealing with levies that the city's passed, the resolution has always, well, wait a minute, no, the ordinance has been passed first, and the resolution passed second. But if I'm looking at your agenda for tonight, we have it the other way around. We have the resolution going first and the ordinance going second.
Right, so according to the Secretary of State, the Board of Elections, and the law firm that I subcontracted to help me with these, you have to pass a resolution of necessity asking shall the ordinance be passed, and then passing the ordinance contingent on the fact that it has to be passed by the voters.
So you're telling me that the resolution is to be passed first and the ordinance is to be passed second?
Yes.
I will say I disagree, but
Are they time-stamped? I mean, they're all passed with the same date, and they're signed or vetoed by the mayor on the same date. Is there any documentation there that shows, other than our minutes of the meeting, does it matter which one is passed first and
Well,
on the
if
same
you-
date,
if you
is my
take-
question.
if you take a look at your, let me get these in the right order. You take a look at Resolution 204, 2023. In the body of that, Section 2, it refers to ordinance number 3-2023. Well, if you pass this resolution first, I don't know how I want to read this. And I checked with another city just to see, and they did the same, the ordinance first and the resolution second. because, yeah. All right, your ordinance resolution states, an ordinance amending the section, to provide for the levy of an additional 1/4 of 1%. In section 2 of resolution 204, it says, the text of the ordinance to be submitted to the electors of the city for their approval under this resolution is as follows. And I guess I'm questioning, if you pass the resolution first, how can you have all this text information because you haven't approved that text information yet?
That makes sense.
Yeah, she's not wrong. I guess I'm thinking in my head, if it were to fail, that creates a problem, but if it passes, it's all passed on the same date.
And I know in looking at section 71804 of the Ohio Revised Code, which is called Authority for Tax on Income and Withholding Tax, it states that the legislative authority of the municipal corporation shall file with the Board of Elections at least 90 days before the day of the election a copy of the ordinance. Now, at the beginning, I guess I should have read that, on or after January 1, 2016, the ordinance levying such taxes as adopted or amended by the legislative authority of the municipal corporation shall include all the following. And then back here where it says that you will do a copy of the ordinance together with a copy specifying the date the election is to be held and directing the Board of Elections to conduct the election. I know I'm not sounding, I know what I want to say and it's not coming out very well. I guess, again, Mr. Gernert's the interim law director. I'm just bringing that to your attention because I know what we did in the past down at the city. And, I had the last levy that we did for the safety forces. And like I say, the ordinance was done first. And then the resolution, the ordinance saying, okay, we're going to amend this section. And then the resolution comes along and says, okay, we believe there's a necessity and that we're putting on the question of approving the passage of an ordinance amending section 189.102. That's what's going before the citizens. But again, that's how I'm reading it and how we did it in the past when I was with the law director's office, but just information for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Gernert, is there any reason why we couldn't, switch it up?
No, but I would like to call my tax lawyer.
So you want to recess for a minute?
I have to fix all this anyway, so if we're passing all these as council as a whole, I'll run to the basement, call the tax lawyer, and then bring these back to you guys.
Okay, all right, so we are going to recess at 6:13. 6:13? 6:46, coming back into session. Am I doing that right now?
Well, I don't know if we finished visitors.
No, we didn't, but am I doing this right after?
After visitors.
Okay, all right. Are there any other visitors that would like to speak? All right, seeing none. I need a resolution.
We need a motion, sorry.
I need a motion to suspend the rules and specifically 111.11 to allow for legislation to be brought before council as a whole without committee requesting said legislation.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Myers, a second by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Or roll call.
Nope, yeas and nays, you're good.
Okay.
And that would be for all four pieces?
She didn't state that in her motion, so we should probably.
We need to go back. All right, I need a motion to suspend the rules specifically 111.11, to allow for legislation on 4 pieces of legislation to be brought before council as a whole without committee requesting the number 4 pieces of legislation.
Do we need each one of the numbers listed?
So moved.
Second.
Do I need all numbers listed?
Go for it.
All right. Those would be Resolution 203-2023, Resolution 204-2023, Ordinance 02-2023, and 03-2023.
So moved again.
And secondly.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Myers, a second by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right. Any communications or petitions? Moving on. Consideration of proposed legislation for the first time.
Resolution number 203-2023, a resolution declaring the necessity of and submitting to the electors residing within the boundaries of the Bucyrus Public Library the question of the renewal of the existing .5 mil tax levy for the purpose of current expenses of the Bucyrus Public Library for 5 years, pursuant to sections 5705.03, 5705.23, and 5705.25 of the revised code. Ordinance number 03-2023, an ordinance amending section 189.012 of the city's codified ordinance to provide for the levy of an additional 1/4 of 1%, 0.25% income tax for a period of 5 years to provide funds for the purposes of general operations, maintenance, new equipment, and capital improvements for the city's safety forces, including police and fire, including the payment of debt services charges on securities issued for those purposes. Resolution 204-2023, a resolution declaring the necessity of an election on the question of approving the passage of an ordinance amending section 189.012 of the city's codified ordinance to provide for the levy of an additional 1/4 of 1%, 0.25% income tax for the period of 5 years to provide funds for the purposes of general operations, maintenance, new equipment, and capital improvements for the city's safety forces, including police and fire, including the payment of debt services charges on securities issued for those purposes, repealing a prior resolution and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, I have a question.
Okay.
Since these just came out of full council, they're not going back to Finance Committee. Does that need to be marked off before we vote on them?
Right, so they won't be referred back to any committee. because
But I
the
mean-
Council as a whole.
But at the top, should that no longer be?
Oh, no, on the actual pieces, they say council as a
They
whole.
say council as a whole.
Okay,
We did not print,
that's okay.
That's correct.
yes, everything else in them is the exact same other than council as a whole. And we included ordinance or resolution number at the top of every page.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, ordinance number 02-2023, establishing the salaries of the mayor, law director, auditor, president of the council, and council members effective January 1st, 2024, and declaring an emergency.
All right. We have a motion to accept these as the first readings.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. McKeever, a second by Mr. Myers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Granting permission for the public to speak on the legislation read for the first time. Seeing none. And none of it is referring back to the committee, correct?
Correct.
All right. And no committee report?
So then we would go straight to
Yep.
Petitions or
Further consideration of pending legislation. For Resolution 203-2023 for the second, I'm sorry. Wrong page, sorry. For the second and third readings of proposed Resolution 203-2023, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Myers.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed resolution 203-2023?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Mr. McKeever.
Sherrick,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Resolution -203-2023 is duly adopted.
Oh, I thought you did that.
For the second and third readings of proposed resolution 03-2023, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
Madam President,
Yes,
the
sir.
order you gave us, you should be reading resolution 04.
04, 2023. Yes.
Those are numbered wrong on those pages. It's actually 03.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
On those pages,
Yeah, yeah.
02 and 03.
it should be 02 and 03.
okay. I was going off the numbers you gave me
No,
earlier.
no.
But so moved.
No. Did I finish reading it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
and you
And I'm
moved?
making a motion.
Okay,
Second.
all right, so I have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Myers.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt resolution 03-2023?
So moved.
I'm sorry,
Ordinance.
ordinance.
I'm going to say point of order.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Myers.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Ordinance 03-2023 is duly adopted. For the second and third readings of resolution 204-2023, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. McKeever, a second by Ms. Sherrick.
McKeever,
Yes.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed resolution 204-2023?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Potter.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Resolution 204-20. What?
Ordinance.
No, that was
That was a resolution.
She's still finishing it. She's duly adopting it.
I'm sorry.
Is duly adopted. It's okay. It's all right. It's all good. Okay, for the second and third readings of proposed ordinance 02-2023, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Spiegel, a second by Mr. Myers.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Sherrick,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 02-2023?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. McKeever, a second by Mr. Myers.
McKeever,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Wireball,
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
Sherrick,
No.
Spiegel,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Ordinance number 02-2023 is duly adopted. Do we have any old or unfinished business? Any new or miscellaneous business? We have no excused absences. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. McKeever, a second by Mr. Potter. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:55.